Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. New property going live on the website this weekend. This one is in a subdivision where I've been trying for some time to purchase land in. This is in a region that I would define as a secluded upscale mountain region, secluded upscale mountain community, etc. I really like this one. I think many of you will as well. I will, however, say, in the interest of full disclosure at the outset of this video, that this is in a region that has a property owners association. So for those of you who call and write me unreasonably angry emails about, I don't want anyone to tell me what I can and cannot do with my land, this is probably not the property for you, and you should navigate away to some other corner of the internet right now. If, however, you are one of these people who wants to buy a piece of land and know that there is an organization collecting a nominal amount of money each year to help maintain the community and protect your property values as time goes on, then this may be the property for you. So, with all that said, disclosures out of the way, let's get to introducing the property. This is reference number OTNM-5791, located in Otero County, New Mexico. This is in the Ponderosa Pines subdivision, and this property is 0.81 acres. To be clear, guys, that's not 81 acres. That is 4/5 of an acre, 0.81. As you saw up top here, guys, this property is priced at $10,000, and $10,000, while being a not insignificant sum of money, is, I assure you, far less than other properties are priced at within this subdivision. I will, however, discuss comps later in the video. With that said, let's bring this one up on a map, guys. Scroll down here and do as we do in all these videos, show you that on all of our listing pages, we have GPS coordinates, 4 corner points, and a center. Click any one of them, and voila, on Google Maps, the property shall appear. So first off, let's go to map view. Let's pull back. Let's talk about where this is in the world of New Mexico. For those of you who do not have a savant-like knowledge of the 33 counties that are in this state, I will, hang on, there we go. I will, yes, that's what I meant to do. I will show you that this is down here in Otero County in the southern part of the state. It borders Texas. Texas is to its south, and it sits roughly about 2 hours drive time outside of Las Cruces in nearby Doña Ana County, or 2 hours outside of El Paso in Texas, down here in the Panhandle. Major towns within Otero County. It's a major piece of geography. It occupies a lot of land, Otero County. It's one of the largest counties in the state. That being said, the major towns out here are confined to simply Alamogordo, Tularosa, Cloudcroft, etc. You will, however, notice that this property is sitting in the middle of this giant green splotch on the map. This is, of course, the Lincoln National Forest, an excellent spot for hunting. I will, however, get back to that later in the video. Should be noted, guys, that the property sits roughly about 10 minutes outside of nearby Cloudcroft and roughly about 45 minutes outside of Alamogordo. So if you do elect to purchase this property, groceries and supplies, you're going to be able to do some quick supply runs over here to nearby Cloudcroft. But big box stores, Walmarts, Home Depots, things like that, fast food chains, restaurants, that's likely going to be in population-dense Alamogordo. FYI. With all that said, guys, as we zoom in on the map here, you will see that there is a carved out area right here. This is a relatively small subdivision as far as subdivisions go. It does not occupy multiple thousands of acres, but rather just a couple hundred. And this is known as the Ponderosa Pines subdivision. The subject property that we're going to talk about today sits right here off of North Ponderosa Pines Trail Road, right here. Of course, if we go to Google Maps, you will not be able to see the plat overlay, so I will direct your attention, back here to the listing page where we have not only the Google Earth overlay that demonstrates the general footprint of the property, size, shape, and location, but we also have the plat map here, guys, so you can get a better sense of that for those of you who enjoy reading plat maps. I will also tell you that the plat map has a lot more detail than plat maps we are used to getting. You will notice, for instance, that it guarantees you 227 feet of road frontage here along North Ponderosa Pines Drive, FYI. Anyway, back to the map, guys. Do just want to show you a couple things here. Number one, as noted earlier, this is an upscale community, so what you're going to see out here, for instance, here, and here are a number of homes that are in this area. These are all fairly nice homes that have been built out here. This is not necessarily a property that you're going to buy that you can RV and camp on. That is not going to be allowed out here, certainly not for indiscriminate periods of time. And this is yeah, basically this is a subdivision where they're looking for somebody to come out here and build an SFR, build a single family residence of some sort. So point being, if you are looking at this property seriously, you should be aware of the restrictions on camping and RVing. Number one. Number two, guys, and you can do this one at home. If you click the control button on your keypad and you wiggle the mouse around, you can see, as we kind of drag the mouse like this, that the property sits on a bit of an incline. From the road, the property slopes down. Now, of course, this is a mountainous subdivision, so that pretty much describes all of the parcels within the region. That being said, I do want to make you guys aware of this as potential buyers that, you may have some obstacles with building on this thing because of the terrain, because of the slope, because of the incline, decline, whatever you want to call it. But of course, you will probably be rewarded with some nicer views from sitting up here atop the property. Of course, it slopes downward from the road, so building up close to the road is where you're going to have some nicer views. For the record, guys, if you drag the mouse around here, you can kind of get a sense in 3 dimensions of what the views are like out here. And then, hello, mountain in the way. You can keep doing that like this to get a better sense of that. Or, guys, you could just come to our photo gallery, because we spend money on getting photos taken of the property itself, and that may give you a better sense than me goofing around on Google Maps. So, with that said, guys, photo gallery down here. We have first off the entrance to the subdivision, and then we have right here, this is the road that leads up to the property itself. I just want to show you guys, if you come back to the map and you look at this area right here would be where Cox Canyon Highway meets Black Forest. That is the quote-unquote intersection that you're looking at right here. One thing that I do want to point out at you guys, that these are dirt gravel roads mostly throughout the subdivision. Now, of course, these are well-maintained dirt gravel roads. And as my photographer reported, probably any vehicle type can drive through here most of the time in most weather. Of course, it should be noted that this is in a region that gets some snow in the wintertime, hence this photo, snow in the wintertime, which may make it difficult to drive on these roads if you do not have a larger truck or off-road capable vehicle, etc. So you should be prepared for that. Living out here, probably not difficult to do in a small car, but once it gets into the winter months, you do probably want a larger vehicle, FYI. I was showing you the pictures of the homes there, guys, to demonstrate that this is a region where, as I noted, you've got houses, you've got some nice houses. My photographer is always paranoid about getting shot at by people if he goes and stands in front of their house and takes photos, so he always tries to stand far away with a telephoto lens, and that's why we get more pictures of, like, the back of the roof than we do, of a fully formed, nice picture of a house. But you do get the point through the photos that there are some nice houses out there. Should be noted, guys, power at the lot line, really all throughout the region. The entire subdivision is outfitted with power. Also, you've got some speed limit signs out here, etc. As we get into the photos here, guys, you can see that the property has the terrain that we were mentioning earlier. I believe this is the back end of the property. As noted, it slopes from the road downward. So my guess is he took some of these photos on the opposite road where it would be sloping down to, FYI. Whatever the case, you do get a sense of exactly how pretty it is out here, how sort of tree covered it is. Close-up photo of pine cones, very artsy, and etc. And just the sort of the terrain, the trees, the roads, so on and so forth. Anyway, guys, I will let you explore these on your own time. I will, however, direct your attention down here later in the gallery. We've got some drone photos of the region. It gives you a sense of the surrounding Lincoln National Forest and just exactly how sort of pretty it is out here. I would like to tell you that we have the outline of the property, as we sometimes do on these listing pages with the drone photos. Unfortunately, when everything's covered in trees, it is difficult to discern where things begin and end. It is hard to make out landmarks, so you will just have to settle for this. Now, a couple things, guys. So mentioned earlier that there is a property owners association. We have them linked over here. We also have it linked up here under the property specific notes. If you click this, it's going to take you to the Ponderosa Pines Property Owners Association website. This is actually reassuring when I see a website like this, or at least it gives me a sense of exactly how active they are. The fact that this is a website which has a greater volume of information than you normally find, number one. Number two, the fact that it's updated frequently tells me that they are, in fact, an active property owners association. So when we start talking about covenants and restrictions, it's going to be pretty easy to discern that they're all being enforced, they're all being abided by. It's not something that no one's looked at in 30 years. Whatever the case, also here under these property-specific notes, we have a link to the covenants and restrictions, which if you click will bring up this document right here. For the record, guys, if you can't read the document, we got the little magnifying glass down here. You can kind of zoom in on it, and you can go through it like this. Now, I will come back to this in just a second. I also want to point out So here in the headline of the property, we say that there's water service. Water services are provided to every lot in the community through the POA, through the Property Owners Association. And if you'd like to read more about the obligations to dues-paying homeowners that this organization has as it relates to water lines and water hookups, you can click on this link, which will take you to their bylaws, which you can read here about water delivery, water connection, so on and so forth. The bylaws document was roughly about 800 pages or some crazy thing. I don't know. This is an excerpt from it. I pretty much assume no one would want to read the whole thing or it would put you to sleep. Suffice to say, the water part is the relevant part, so that's what we have included here. So you have not only power at the lot line out here, but you also have water services being offered to all of the landowners out here, all of the homeowners out here, which of course means that you're not going to have to dump a bunch of money into getting a well drilled. That, of course, is one of the big benefits of something like this. Now, additionally, as you go back here to the Property Owners Association, the thing that I always like to say about these is that, so yeah, there are people who don't like these because they don't like rules and they don't like restrictions and they don't like paying anything besides yearly taxes on a property, and they usually don't even like paying that. The benefit, however, for the discerning buyer is that, of course, organizations like this are going to protect your land value, protect your home value as time goes on. And as I mentioned earlier, essentially, they're going to keep the riffraff out of the community. The people who show up and park a 40-year-old school bus on the land next to you and do weird stuff in it every day, those people will not be allowed to live next to you. But respectable families who come and build single-family residences and they have nice homes, who, you know, help generally increase property values within the community, that sort of thing is welcomed. That's what they're looking for out there. So it's one of the benefits of buying land out here. Now, quick thing, guys, if you go to the covenants and restrictions and you read through these, let me do the last part first. It's a 6-page document, and if you go to, let me see, 6 pages plus the notary down here. If you go to like the last few pages, what you're going to find is these are all pretty reasonable covenants. These from whatever it is, 12 or 13 down. No obnoxious or offensive activity shall be carried out upon the okay, that makes sense. No laundry, basically no laundry lines is what they're saying. Don't hang your dirty laundry out in the middle of the day, things like that. Okay, I guess that makes sense. No garbage, refuse, trash, or obnoxious or offensive materials should be permitted to accumulate on any lot. Again, that seems reasonable. No animal or fowl of any description shall be raised, housed, or kept on any lot except the dogs, cats, or other household pets. Okay, makes sense. You can't keep, pigs on your property. All right. No outdoor type of toilet shall be erected or maintained in the subdivision. Okay. This seems, so these covenants are like 6 pages deep. And I think this is a case where they do themselves a disservice by enumerating so descriptively everything. I understand why they do it, but I think it's kind of a turnoff for a lot of buyers because it looks like, at first glance, like, oh, this is really strict, but most of these are just kind of logical. All principal dwelling houses, exclusive of garage, carport, patios, terraces, and porches, shall be constructed or maintained with a heated area of no less than 1,200 square feet. So if you are looking to build a tiny house out there, depending on your version of tiny, 1,200 is the threshold, so just FYI. But again, reasonable. And then there's ones down here about parking cars out on the road. Can't do that. No excess signage. Properties can't be used for business purposes. What else? This is all of these make sense. There's one in here I know about don't set off fireworks because you're in the middle of a forest. That, again, makes sense. Anyway, so the last half of the covenants are all pretty reasonable, or they come off that way. The first half of the covenants, however, are a lot about building, about what sorts of structures they allow within the area and what sorts of rules they have for these structures. Now, my guess is this is another example of where the attorney for the POA came in and wrote these, and they like their billable hours, so it's descriptive as humanly possible. That said, it's a bit much, and if you read through it, it's going to sound like they're incredibly strict. I don't believe they are incredibly strict. We've spoken to them, and they sound like they're pretty laid back about it. That being said, they do have some notations in here, which I'd encourage you guys to read. For instance, all structures must have a slanting roof with a minimum of 2 1/2 inches in 12 inches pitch. What? I don't know what that means, but my guess is it's derived from a good reason that has something to do with being in the forest and who knows. But roofing materials must be of a material approved by the board. Essentially, they have what they call an architectural control committee, which is if you want to build out here, you have to show them the plans for what you're going to build, and then they will approve them. My guess is they probably approve them pretty easily, or they will help coach you in different things you should know about the region, different ways to make the structure that you're building, I don't know, just better suited to the region, etc. So they will probably guide you in some way, though nothing I suspect too strict. Whatever the case, if you are looking seriously at this property, I would encourage you to read through the covenants and restrictions. And if you do have questions about these, because these are pretty dense, you can come to the website here. You can reach out to these people. You can call or email them directly at the contact information down here. We have the phone number reiterated on our listing page. It is always best, guys, if you're going to buy properties like this, calling us. We love to talk to you, but we will not know the answers to the esoterica of a property owners association's rules and regulations. So it's always best to reach out to them, email them, and ask them, hey, I'm looking to buy some land in your community. I want to do X, Y, and Z. Is this going to be possible, etc. Anyway, with all that said, a couple things I do want to point out to you guys. Number one, if we go back here to the map, as I noted earlier, the property sits roughly about 10 minutes down the road from Cloudcroft. Now, I said that this is a secluded area. It is pretty secluded. It's going to be a while before you get to a major town. By major, I mean like, you know, they've got a Walmart, let's say. So Alamogordo, 45 minutes west, is your best bet. As noted, however, Las Cruces, El Paso, also fairly close by. But there are some attractions out here. I don't want you to make you think like you're in the middle of nowhere, because nearby Cloudcroft also has Ski Cloudcroft. This, of course, is some ideal skiing within New Mexico, at least within southern New Mexico. And, of course, fairly close to this is Ruidoso, where they have the... I forget what it's called, the Winter Park, and then the Ruidoso, of course, racetrack and casino is up there. So all of this shakes out to be about an hour-plus drive up to Ruidoso, so maybe something to do on the weekends. But the point is that is also in your backyard. That is also available to you. Additionally, as noted earlier, guys, you are within the midst of the Lincoln National Forest, specifically the, Sacramento Ranger Station. Yes, the Sacramento Ranger District. And down here in this part of the world, of course, you're going to have a lot of hunting that you could do as far as elk, mule deer, wild turkey, black bear, antelope, and some other creatures. There are some guided tours, some guided hunting expeditions you can go on throughout here. But this seems like an ideal hunting property. It seems like an ideal property for anybody who is a hunter, etc. Additionally, guys, I said earlier that I was going to talk about comps. So the Otero, this is what we have written here. The Otero County Assessor places the market value of this property at $30,000. Also, there's a number of comparable lots in the subdivision that are being listed between $18,000 and $34,000. So a couple things. Number one, some counties have an antiquated formula by which they assess land. They haven't updated it since the 70s. Sometimes when you see something like that, like $30,000 for this piece of land seems a bit high to me, but that may be one of the reasons. Additionally, some county assessors just really overvalue land. And number three, then you have some realtors, some wildly unrealistic realtors who list things for unreasonably high prices because, whatever the case, and I'm going to pause the video for just a second. If you were to Google land for sale, Ponderosa Pines, Otero County, New Mexico, and yes, you need to get very specific with these Google searches. For instance, you'll find something like this, 1.3 acres. Now, this, of course, is about a half acre larger than what we're selling, but this one is selling for $34,000, which seems like, really? $34,000? Additionally, that's one with no additional features. There's no house already on the lot. There's a couple others out here. I think this 1.21 is $19,000. So again, at $18,000, this is a really good deal. I don't know if it is, I don't know if it's necessarily a $20,000 savings, but it is a savings compared to what land normally sells for within that subdivision. So if this is a property that you are interested in purchasing, the first thing I want you guys to know is that we did close on this with Pioneer Abstract and Title in Otero County. So we did get title insurance on this. We will be offering a warranty deed on this. Additionally, if you want to purchase it, we will be encouraging you to close through the title company as well. Whatever the case, that whole process starts by clicking the Buy Now button here and being taken to our secure checkout where we will ask for a non-refundable, guys, let me repeat that, non-refundable earnest money deposit of $500. To be clear, guys, I do not anticipate that most of you can charge $10,000 on your own credit card or would be inclined to do so, nor would I ask you to. With properties in this price range, I generally encourage my buyers, let's close through a title company. Let's add a third-party intermediary who will handle the drafting of the documents and the conveyance of your money, so as essentially your money is not given to me until the property is in your name, okay? That's the benefit for you of a title company. Additionally, you will get title insurance. And quite frankly, if you're going to be building out here, most likely you're going to take out a loan. Bank is not going to lend on a property that doesn't have title insurance, so it behooves you to get that sort of thing out here. Now, with all that said, we ask for the $500 down. We collect some info from you, legal name from deed, phone number, tax address, so on and so forth. Agree to the terms of service. And on the very next page, you can enter credit or debit card information to place that $500 deposit. Within 24 hours, we are going to get in touch with you, and we're going to provide you a copy of a sale purchase agreement. You sign it, we sign it, we will submit it to the title company, and they will do the rest ever so slowly, because that's how title companies do things. Whatever the case, guys, if you'd like to learn more about this process, we have a page on our website called How It Works Buying From Us, and we'll show you the different ways in which we like to convey property. For something in this price range, $10,000 plus, again, we recommend title escrow. And if you'd like to see what an example of one of our sale purchase agreements look like, the thing that we would essentially be asking you to sign in this deal, you can click on that, and it'll bring up a generic version of one of our standard contracts. As you can see, guys, fairly self-explanatory, one page for signatures. But if you've got a friend, a cousin, a brother, or sister who's a lawyer and you'd like them to review it, we will not object. There you go, guys. Anyway, so with all that said, if you are interested in buying the property, just click the Buy Now button, check out there, and we'll talk to you after you've done that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you have any comments, leave them here on the YouTube. Shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, or give us a call, 702-919-7170. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.